WrestlePod is supported by viewers like you. To support WrestlePod and the other programs on this channel, visit patreon.com/Ian Beaumont live and direct. After a few days of technical problems and trying to get this set up, I'm back in the game. We're going to review WOS Wrestling Episode 3, and we're going to talk some sad news that came about earlier this week. All that and more coming up right now on WrestlePod. From Ian Beaumont live and direct, this is WrestlePod. Welcome along. Good to have you back with us. I tried to film this episode Saturday, and it didn't quite work right. So, after a few technical adjustments, I'm now back in the game and filming it tonight, and hopefully everything will work well. So, let's get on with the review of episode 3 of WOS Wrestling. We started really with a video from earlier on in the office of the WOS Wrestling executive, Stu Bennett. He had Grado in his office, and he was basically telling Grado to be a lot more serious. His, this is a serious place for serious competition. And Grado's fun, over-the-top style didn't really fit. Well, yeah, kinda, but he's well liked by the fans. I still can't understand why. But, Grado leaves, and we are set for a match between Grado and Shah Samuels, and immediately Grado comes out in a suit, like a proper suit and tie, except he looks kind of like a bad history teacher or something. It's really bad. He doesn't really look serious. He's trying to be serious, but he doesn't look serious. His opponent tonight, Shah Samuels. Shah cuts a promo on him, basically saying no one's ever going to take him seriously. Grado cuts him off and says, no, he is taking it very seriously. Very quick cover. After a quick couple of moves. And basically, kind of the match goes on from there. There's a lot of action, which is normal for World of Sport now. I'm getting used to the idea that these matches are short, kind of 10-minute time limit matches, really. And this one was even a little bit shorter, because for this episode there were 5 matches overall, which I didn't expect. We'd had nice 4-match cards up to this point. This time there was 5. Was that too many? I don't think so, but it certainly meant a couple of matches felt like they were over a little quicker than perhaps you expected them to be, but maybe not quicker than they needed to be. I don't know. I'm working this out basically still. So yeah, eventually the fight spills to the outside. Shah Samuels in control. It looked like Samuels was either going to powerbomb Grado on the ramp or do a pile driver, which we're told is illegal in World of Sport Wrestling. So Grado counters that into a backdrop. Shah kind of rolls down the ramp. Grado turns to a young boy who puts a cap on his head. The cap says Grado. Instantly, it's kind of like a Hulk out sort of thing. Grado starts taking off the suit and all that. And reveals he's got his proper wrestling gear on underneath. Very much more Grado in control from this point on. Cannonball to Samuels in the corner. Oh my God! And we had an overhead camera looking down on that corner and that impact when Grado came in. It would have been better if it had been a little wider, but for the shot we got, it was pretty good. I didn't mind that too much. What else was there? Oh yeah, Samuels hit a vicious lariat, took back control. However, Samuels goes up to the top rope, thinking he's got the match won. Jumps off. Grado hits it into a cutter. I want to say a diamond cutter because that's what it's always been to me. It's the diamond cutter. Hits it into the diamond cutter. 1, 2, 3. Grado is your winner. Next up, a match that they actually gave plenty of time to because it was a bit of a grudge match from a couple of weeks ago. If you remember, Martin Kirby and Joe Hendry had been in a tag team tournament match. But Kirby had turned on his partner. They ended up losing the match, of course. And that kind of set up this match. Started a feud, obviously. Martin Kirby taking on Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is introduced by the ring announcer as the Pride of Scotland. However, SoCal Val then immediately refers to him as well as the Prestigious One, which has been his heel name in WCPW and Defiant Wrestling. So he's babyface here. Pride of Scotland, local hero. That's kind of what this character is. It's not the Prestigious One. So yeah, Pride of Scotland, I think, is what we'll be referring to him as here. Joe Hendry has control for the early part of the match, and to be honest, for most of the match, surprisingly, very much dominating this match. Kirby, though, does get a few good moments, like he spears Joe Hendry in the corner. He's Irish whipped him in the corner, hits him with a spear right in the corner, and oh man, did that look brutal. What else was there? Oh yes, another amazing spot. Kirby's on the top rope, goes for a cross body, hits it properly. Hendry catches him though, and rolls through, rolls back over himself, stands up, lifts up Martin Kirby, and then throws him into a fold-away slam. Holy hell, did that look amazing. That was one hell of a spot. The match kind of ends a little bit sneakily. Hendry goes for the ankle lock, as they're calling it, the Hendry lock. Kirby crawls to the corner, grabs the rope, then manages to roll up Hendry and pins him by putting his feet on the ropes for a for the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. No referee spotted that little infraction. So, yeah, Kirby wins this encounter. Though I think this feud is far from over. Really though, the match was designed to showcase Joe Hendry. Really showed off a lot of his freestyle moves and what had got him to the Commonwealth Games this year. So yeah, quite the showcase match for Joe Hendry, but Martin Kirby picks up the win. Next up, we have a match in the tag team title tournament. All the teas. Tea time. And speaking of teas, we have a BT Gunn in this match alongside Stevie Boy, taking on Brad Slayer and CJ Banks. It's kind of weird to see Gunn actually as a face here. I usually see him more as a tween or a heel in Defiant / WCPW, but oh well, this kind of worked-ish. Very-ish. Nice moves around. Missile drop kick to Brad Slayer. I think that was BT Gunn. For a 2 count. Lots of good tagging in and out. Nice double team moves, all round. Both sides absolutely held their own there. Gunn actually picks up his own partner and flapjacks him, slams him down front slam for onto CJ Banks. That gets a 2 count. Another snap suplex this time. Snap suplex this time from Banks to Stevie Boy for a 2 count. CJ Banks kind of impressed me here in a way I hadn't really expected him to. So yeah, can't say I'm disappointed with that. BT Gunn tagged in, absolute house of fire. And then they hit a variation on the Devastation device, the old Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk, the Legion of Dooms finishing move. But instead of a clothesline off the guy being held up on the shoulders, it's an elbow drop on the guy's thrown off the shoulders for the 3 count. So BT Gunn and Stevie Ray, they go through. Decent enough match. Next up, we have Gabriel Kidd getting his big opportunity. Oh, it was big, all right. 36 stones worth of big. Ooh. The guy is called Crater. And I have to say, he very much reminds me of one of the classic characters from British wrestling back in the day, Giant Haystacks. Very similar demeanor, very similar character. This time, though, he's masked. Rather, Haystacks never was. Crater just manhandles Gabriel Kidd all the way through this match. I mean, Kidd tries some European uppercuts. Also tries some forearm shots. Really, they're having no effect on the guy. Bear hug. Oh God, awful. That's when Kidd used like the forearm shots over the back to break it. Actually, that worked relatively well. Did enough to break it, but not much more than that. Kidd gets squashed in the corner, then hit with a choke slam, and then finally a big old splash. You know, it's like the Warrior used to do, but a lot heavier. For the 3 counts. Yep. 1, 2, 3. And then a stretcher and Gurney comes out, and Kid is taken away on the stretcher, and it's kind of interesting to see them sell an injury angle here. But as far as I know, Kid is fine. I've heard nothing to say that he is legitimately injured, so as far as I'm concerned, it's an injury angle. Okay, so our final match of the night on episode 3 of World of Sport was, once again, a World of Sport Championship match. This time between Rampage and Justin Sizem. I'm not really familiar with Sizem. Familiar with Rampage, but I have to say, Sizem looks the business. Rampage, of course, is the business because he's accompanied by CJ Banks and Shah Samuels, and it's obvious there's more heel shenanigans going on here. Rampage takes control early on, although Sizem does manage to hit a crossbody for a 2 count. Samuels distracts the ref at one point. Sizem is setting up on the top rope for a 450 splash. Samuels distracts the refs, allowing CJ Banks, to get up onto the apron and push Sizem off the top rope before making that move. Rampage takes control again from that point. Sizem at the end, this was kind of how the match ended, and I'm a little disappointed with it. But Sizem hits a clothesline, and the momentum takes both men over the top rope to the outside. CJ Banks has sneaked under the ring at some point, not too sure when. But he comes out from under the ring just enough to grab Sizem's, I think it was left leg, to keep him from getting back in the ring, meaning the referee gets to a 10 count, and the match is over. Retaining via countout was Rampage. If I'm to give these star ratings, I have to give Grado versus Shah Samuels about 2.5. It was a decent enough match. Martin Kirby versus Joe Hendry, I have to give 3.5 stars. It was a much better match, definitely. Tag team tournament match, 2 stars. Kid versus Crater, 1 star. You really can't give a squiggity squash much more than that. And Rampage versus Justin Sizem would have been 2.5, except for that slightly lame finish. So, 2 stars overall. So overall, this is about another 2.5 star episode. Decent enough, decent television matches. Good matches overall. Best match of the night, definitely Kirby Hendry. I really thought that was something a little bit special, and really pleased to see that. Otherwise, generally, an okay episode, and it's been maintaining a steady progression. What I would like to see possibly soon at some point is like a 3-hour special, you know, a one-night special. Maybe that could be a thing in the future, as well as having the series of weekly events. Maybe have 1, 2, or maybe even 4 specials per year, live special events. We'll see. Well, that's almost it from this edition of WrestlePod. Like, share, subscribe. Like us on Facebook. support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Ian Beaumont live and direct. I've got a few more episodes coming up this week. We've got predictions to do for NXT TakeOver and SummerSlam. And reviews as well. We will be doing those as well. And you never know, I might just pop up live on YouTube. We will see. We will see. But that's to come. For now, though, to end on, we have to talk Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And I'm really sad because whilst I didn't see a lot of Anvil, especially not in his prime, his prime was really just before I got into American wrestling, which would have been around the time WWE, I first saw WWE in like late 94, early 95. Yeah, I did see him a number of times through WWE and WCW in the late 90s. I also saw him in TNA much later on. Including, of course, that infamous time when he was hired as a favour to Stu Hart as the masked jobber. Ooh. Yeah. Boy, that was a thing. But I liked Anvil. I liked the Hart Foundation in late 96, 97. I really liked that angle, and it's really sad to think that only Brett is left now from that faction. Yeah. My condolences go out to his family, his colleagues, his friends, and of course, his fans. Especially to Natalia, who, of course, would have been at Raw this week in the match, but for this happening. Rest in peace, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp. Stay tuned.